Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. To start things off, it says green is the predominant color in the cryptocurrency markets, with some massive gains across the leading cryptos. Bitcoin marked a new yearly high of above 11,700 US dollars, while Ethereum exceeded above the $350 level. Bitcoin's first days in July were rather dull as it traded sideways in a tight range. It appears, however, that the primary cryptocurrency doesn't want to repeat this dullness in August. During the past 3 days, Bitcoin headed upwards from 11,100, where it primarily traded yesterday, to a new yearly high marked in minutes of $11,730 on Bitstamp. And there's that little chart right there. With this bullish breakout above the resistance and previously high of 11,400, Bitcoin has dismissed the arisen fears that it may head for a correction because of the CME gap that was left open at 9,600 US dollars, which is also complete nonsense. Why would Bitcoin have to, we've had this discussion so many other times before. Whenever Bitcoin's price looked like it was going up, and the other analysts who kept on coming out saying, well, Bitcoin has to fill the gap. Why would Bitcoin, the actual digital currency, have to fill the gap of something that is trying to mimic Bitcoin's price of people who are betting for or against Bitcoin's value in US dollars? It just does not make any sense. And I'm glad that I have not seen a lot of the people and the analysts from before who are once again coming forward talking about that Bitcoin had to go back down. I saw an article about a week or two ago that was talking too fast, that was stating that Bitcoin needed to once again go back down to around 7,000, and I rolled my eyes so hard I got a freaking headache. However, it remains to be seen if the asset could successfully close above 11,600 and aim for 12,000 US dollars. Interestingly, the price increase comes shortly after Russia passed a bill that prevents Russians from using BTC as a means of payment. I don't have this article anywhere in here. It was actually the most popular news of the day, but it was kind of like a not a who cares kind of thing. We knew for a while that this was going to happen. We had indications over the last 3 years that Russia was going to do this. Apparently, the news is, apparently the bill has been signed. There now is cryptocurrency law within Russia, but apparently you cannot use Bitcoin as a means of payment for things. However, you are still legally able to own it and or over the counter it, as it completely were. But once again, shrug, because we knew that that was going to happen. And apparently now the number that everyone's looking for is 12,000 US dollars. I'm personally looking for 14,000. That was a number that we hit before. And then also before, we saw the market drop down because of the creation of BSV. So yeah, of course, this is very popular news. This one says Bitcoin breaks 11,500 as sentiment metrics show it's still undervalued. Of course, Bitcoin, when you actually have a discussion, think, or rather, the next time you have a friend who's into cryptocurrencies, discuss with them the actual prospects of Bitcoin, what Bitcoin does, and what Bitcoin allows everyone around the world to actually do. When you talk about an actual value of a currency that allows billions of people around the world to transact freely and decentralized without having to worry about their payments being stopped or other things like that. I mean, the value proposition for Bitcoin should honestly be around six figures, but I don't think the market will price that in for a very long time. I mean, who knows? It's been a crazy year. It might happen by the end of this year. This one says Bitcoin just broke to new 2020 high. These are the next price targets to watch. Of course, it's the $12,000 thing we were just talking about. This one says Bitcoin's price hits 2020 high at 11,500 as traders say bull phase igniting. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. So of course, the major news is the crypto market's completely in green. Everything is rising. Bitcoin did not fall down like the two people on the planet who were saying that it was going to fall. It didn't fall. The point is the market's up. And without further ado, let's move on. All the news is kind of lightly tied into each other. Lightly. Next up, The decentralized finance, or DeFi industry, continues its massive growth trajectory as the total value locked in the DeFi markets has hit $4 billion US dollars, according to data from major industry website DeFiPulse.com. There's a little chart right there. DeFi markets refer to the use of a blockchain, digital assets, and smart contracts in financial services like credit and lending to provide financial services without a need for a centralized authority. The new threshold means that a total of over $4 billion US dollars is now locked across smart contracts, protocols, and decentralized applications built on top of Ethereum. As of press time, the largest DeFi provider, MakerDAO's DAI stablecoin, is responsible for just over 30%. That's insane. 30% of the entire DeFi market, with $1.23 billion locked inside of it. The last time we had news, I think we had just crossed $2 billion locked inside of the DeFi market. I am going to assume that if we continue on this trajectory, we are probably going to see around $8 to $10 billion locked up inside of the DeFi platforms relatively soon, as this does not seem to be slowing down at all. There's another little chart right there. As reported by Cointelegraph, Ethereum has rallied recently, both in anticipation of Ethereum 2.0 and due to the optimism surrounding DeFi. There is so much energy around DeFi, and I'm honestly waiting to see exactly where all of it's going to go, because I personally believe it is ICO-esque. However, it's falling on deaf ears because these things continue to completely pump. A lot of people in this comment section have been telling me and naming the name of other channels who have been pumping these DeFi coins. And once again, remember, during a bull run, when everything is going up, every coin is a winner. So every coin can, every channel can simply tell you, hey, get into this coin, and that coin goes up by 7, 8, 9, 10% over the course of a week, and they go, see, I told you, now you're making money. But it's also because every single one of these coins is also going up. So of course people are going to be making money. And that's how they draw you into their channels. Anyway, yeah, Ethereum's doing very well. A lot of people still believe we are going to see Ethereum 2.0 this year. And on top of that hype, we have tons of people throwing their money into these DeFi projects, trying to, what was the term they used? Something yield. People are trying to make as much money as humanly possible, but this also lends a huge helping hand, if not three hands at the exact same time, to a major bull run, because people are continuously throwing their money into the market. This one says, here we go. Here we go. The US dollar suffered its worst month since 2010, as digital assets like Bitcoin and Ether ended July sharply higher. As reported by the Financial Times, the dollar index, which measures the US dollar's performance against 6 other government-issued currencies, fell by 4.3%. The US dollar fell by 4.3% in July alone, the largest monthly sell-off since September 2010. Against the euro, the US dollar is down more than 4.6%, whereas the dollar fell by more than 3% against the Japanese yen. There's that lovely chart right there. If you have a chance to look at this chart without putting yourself in risk or danger or whatever you might be physically doing, this chart is incredible. For one entire month to see a decline like that. Underpinning the precipitous fall of greenbacks is a sustained period of mounting political and economic uncertainty. As the block previously reported earlier this week, investment bank Goldman Sachs outlined emerging concerns that could jeopardize the US dollar's reserve status. Where do I even begin? We've been talking about this for a very long time. We were talking about this before 19 even happened. We were talking about this because of the enormous amount of debt many countries have under their wings right now, and the amount of money that they were actually printing beforehand, that they were actually trying, that the news had been for quite some time that apparently governments were printing money in an effort to kind of lower their debt, but all they were doing was actually taking out more debt and also just continuously printing more of their money, that they were also probably, assumption, using years ago to buy up stocks, bonds, and all these other types of equities and commodities, because who knows how long this actual decline in the stock market had really been going on. And then also, when you get major institutions, keeping in mind Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, Deutsche Bank, all these conglomerates and companies, they're not really banks, they're more so companies. Their success largely relies on the strength of a lot of these currencies as well. So this means that they have outright known, and now they're saying to the public that there are concerns and things actually going wrong with these currencies. Once again, they probably knew for a very long time, and I would not be shocked if we had information, which we probably never will, that these banks had also been buying up Bitcoin and gold over the last couple of months as well. But when you get an actual mega bank, and all of them are now discussing concerns that the US dollar's reserve status is in jeopardy, do you understand that nearly all transactions around the world are actually made and forced to be taken part in the actual US dollar? We went over that before. A lot of countries, a lot of people don't know this. When people within other countries, like actual banks and stuff like that, are transacting in their currencies, the final product actually has to be in US dollars. Like, this is why, I mean, history lesson. After the last mega war that we had, the victorious countries kind of took a stance and said, hey, you have to use our currencies, you have to use our currencies. But one of them in particular came forward, the US, and told everyone else, you must use our currency for everything that you do. And this is why we still have US dollar dominance. Combined with a record level of debt accumulation by the US government, real concerns around the longevity of the US dollar as a reserve currency have started to emerge. That's insane that they're finally saying this out loud. This means that behind the scenes, I mean, what do you think is going to happen behind the scenes when many other countries have been trying to get the US to lose its reserve status for the last 30 to 40 odd years? You remember when we were talking about a couple of, it was around 2009, 10, 11, 12, somewhere within that time frame, where it was China, the UK, France, Germany, and a couple of other countries. They came together to try and create a brand new bank that was going to use the Chinese currency as their reserve money. And that was struck down like lightning by the United States almost immediately. But I wonder, during these last 10 years, how many other discussions have been going on to make sure that we get away from the US dollar. I honestly don't believe that within the next 20 years, the US dollar will be the dominant reserve anymore. I think we're actually well past that. And I think this is why it was so interesting last year that I kept on commenting whenever we got news that there were many countries who were actually buying Bitcoin. And I was like, yeah, I think that entire thing is basically people are already throwing dirt on it, if you get that reference. Furthermore, the Commerce Department reported that US GDP at an annual rate plunged by more than 32% in the second quarter. Once again, US GDP fell by 32% alone in the second quarter, among the most severe contractions in its history. Meanwhile, Treasury bond yields have approached a record low following a statement by the Fed that reaffirmed its aggressive monetary policy stance against the crisis. As noted by the Wall Street Journal, the announcement pushed the 10-year yield to its third lowest close of 2020. What more do I really have to say? Like, we are, for what it's worth, witnessing history and its purest or darkest form, depending on what color shades you have on right now. This is something absolutely insane. I did not think we would see anything like this within my lifetime. That is just an honest way of saying it. But the amount of, if you've never seen the world debt clock, give it a look. It'll shock you. And then when you look at how much money has been printed by these governments in general, that should also put a very weird look on your face. And then when you look at what's been going on just the last 6 months, when you look at the actual fragility of the world's economy and how that's actually completely buckling, it's been 6-7 months. Like, this hasn't been going on for years. Like, this actual event of 19 has caused huge rifts. The US GDP is down by 32%. The dollar is falling against every other major world currency right now. Where do you think this is all heading? On top of this as well, a Bloomberg article claims that Americans are foregoing the safety of the dollar for more speculative assets like stocks, gold, and Bitcoin. Because of 19, the personal savings rate in the US is at a historic high, which is also very bad for banks. Banks are trying to do everything I'm sure you've seen the signs or the ads or whatever is going around right now. They're trying to get people, and especially also to spend their money. When people save their money in their accounts, this is very bad, air quotes, for the economy, because the entire point for those of you who don't know how the economy works is you're never meant to save your money. You're meant to continuously spend. When you have spent all of your money, you're supposed to then be incentivized to continue going to work, to continue making money, to pay your rent, and then to spend the rest of your money. Like, there's no actual desire for you to ever save your money or to have a savings account or to have an emergency savings backup or to even really invest. Surprise! The yield offered by financial institutions on savings account, however, is close to zero. At the same time, assets like Bitcoin, equities, and gold all have made double-digit gains since March. This is making them an attractive option for investors. Here's the actual Bloomberg yield chart right here since July of 2019. Just how much everything has been falling. The article mentions a 28-year-old Californian who told a reporter that he is going to convert all of his $15,000 that he has inside of his bank, put it into Bitcoin. He says that he is doing so because he expects long-term economic stagnation. What's going to be the craziest part is that if this person, think of it this way, if this person puts his money, $15,000 into Bitcoin, and let's say Bitcoin does, Bitcoin does have a monumental year and ends the year at $50,000. Question mark, no one knows if that's going to happen. He will not have only made $35,000, but he's going to start making it into the news once again that he made $35,000 over the course of 6 months. There are so many people right now who are putting their money into cryptocurrencies, and the crazier part is that it causes a huge effect where the more people put their money into the market, the higher the market goes. The higher the market goes, the more money these people make. And other people realize, I'm not making any money from my bank account. I'm not making any money at all because you know what's been happening this year. And then the numbers continue to rise. Like, think of the amount of people who bought Bitcoin at 8,000 or 9,000 or even 10,000. They've made money that they wouldn't have otherwise made. And like, no bank account was giving you 15 to 20% over the course of a 3-month period. The reality is also even worse than Bloomberg's article post-its. It's no secret that the dollar is rapidly depreciating against other leading currencies. In fact, according to the Financial Times, July is, we got that part. Here's the actual Bloomberg article right here. It says people fear they've got too much cash in their bank accounts. Falling interest rates are tempting some Americans to forego safety and pour their savings into assets such as stocks and Bitcoin. This is going to continue to happen. I'm interested that this is finally making it into the actual news. Remember, we were talking about that before. Major news outlets weren't actually talking about the downfall of the US dollar or the downfall of markets around the world or the downfall of real estate prices, which is also happening right now. If you haven't been paying attention to the actual fall in rent in major cities and also the fall in real estate prices, especially within the US right now, please take a look into that. There were many articles online, and even more so, I like watching videos of it to see like the actual accounts of it taking place. The amount of people who are fleeing from San Francisco, Washington, D.C., New York City, Miami, and other parts of the U.S. to go to other places where the rent is a lot cheaper. People are completely just breaking their rental contracts. People in New York, I have a friend in New York, and he told me people are trying to rent out apartments right now, and they're lowering the rent by a good $800 to $1,500 per month. So the stuff that would normally be $4,000 per month, which is also still completely insane, is now renting for around 2,500. Stuff that was around 2,500 is on the market for 1,700. And these people are trying to rent these places with 3 months for free as a huge incentive to get people to sign these contracts, but it's still not working. Why? Because nobody wants to sign a rental contract for $2,500 for a little studio. So, yeah, I don't think personally that we've seen the worst of everything that's happening. If we continue to see Bitcoin's price rising, just understand that the market logically would probably still continue to go up. Because the moment, remember the article that we read yesterday where it said new Bitcoin millionaires and people are getting rich off of Bitcoin, and then the other one from 2017 that was like everyone's getting stupid rich except for you. When these articles start popping up, because they're going to, if Bitcoin hits $14,000-$15,000, we're going to start having more articles about how high and close Bitcoin is to its all-time high, but also how much money people are making from it. It's going to get wild. I told all of you this at the beginning of the year, and now here we are. Not a psychic, it's just more logical. The US dollar has been in trouble for a while. They've been printing money to push up the stock market, which means imagine if they hadn't printed $7 trillion and hadn't propped up the stock market, how low the actual stock market would be right now. Anyway, that's all that news. It is interesting, and it is going to get more interesting. And without further ado, let's move on. Also in very popular news right now, Coinbase has announced that it is exploring listing 19 new digital assets on its platform in a bid to provide its users globally access to at least 90% of the market of all cryptos in circulation. According to the announcement, the new assets include Ampleforth, Band Protocol, Balancer, Blockstack, Curve, Fetch.ai, Flexacoin, Helium, Hedera Hashgraph, Kava, Melon, yep, there's a coin called MELON, Ocean Protocol, Paxos Gold, Reserve Rights, it says BTC, but I think it means this BTC, The Graph, Theta, UMA, and WBTC, which is Wrapped Bitcoin. Coinbase Exchange further noted that the goal of the new edition is to offer support for all assets that meet its technical standards and also comply with applicable regulations. Here's the actual tweet right here. Coinbase is exploring the addition of 19 new assets. Some are live, some are not. And there's a little pretty photo of all of them as well. This is major news, apparently, because Coinbase is going to be adding more coins to their platform. Is anyone surprised? No, none of you should be, because Coinbase is clearly trying to profit off of the DeFi boom. They had no intention of adding any of these coins before, but apparently now seems to be the time for them to want to add tons of new coins to their platform, because whatever Coinbase is saying that they're going to do. How many assets does Coinbase have on their platform right now? It has to be hundreds at this point. Every time they do an addition, it's always around 25 new coins. For those of you not looking at the screen, look at this right here, or rather who are looking at the screen. Yeah, this is why I have an issue with all that stuff. The point being, never forget that you can custody your own coins as long as it is legal wherever you live. Think about doing so, because you want to be able to have access to your coins. Because I'm waiting for and not waiting for is that monumental moment where Bitcoin's price and the other cryptocurrency prices are going sky high, and people are trying to sell these coins, and they are then told that they are unable to do so, or they're unable to access their own money, because that's how cryptocurrency exchanges work. I don't know. I can't tell you which coins out of these coins is going to be added to the platform. I will be 1,000% honest with you. I don't care about any of these coins. I know some people do. I know some people are going completely crazy over them. And once again, by all means, if you are going to be betting on these coins or getting into these coins, or you think these coins could do absolutely, completely, amazingly wonderful, just understand that things do not go up forever. And if you are going to be riding that wave, that you make sure that you know when to cash out. Anyway, yeah, Coinbase is apparently going to be adding 19 new coins. You're excited about them. Bless your heart. Otherwise, let's move on. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters, Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Auspicious, Agile, and Blockchain, Navarro Williams, David James, Attila the Han, Yasha Harari, Oscar Maldonado, Utopia 569, Moonman High XRP, Joshua Vineyard, Martin Steuer, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, A Bibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Moher Maroni, Master Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Crypto Joe, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Coldy 3D, Damien, Setsuna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Rich III, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Nick Mangelavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Garner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller, Hitch Test Every Day, and Kyle Skips Leg Day, Yes to Crypto, Bodie McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, Monks, Joiner Staff, ARF, Medic 17, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger, Macho Nisa, On Crypto with Lano. Cake sounds really good right now. Crayola Michelle, URL, and Bolero Bastos. Thank you. Why am I always hungry when I talk to you guys? Thank you all very, very much for your support. Thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel, and thank you to everyone who is a supporter of the channel in their own way. At the moment, Bitcoin's price is currently up by roughly around 5%. It is at $11,640 US. Ethereum's up by 5%. XRP is up by 9%, roughly, if you round upwards. It is at 26 cents. I have a feeling that if Bitcoin does pass by 14,000, we may, M-A-Y, possibly be seeing a 50 to 75 cent XRP. XRP has been performing incredibly well over the last couple of weeks. The volume has also been mounting quite quickly as well. It appears that it is trying to do something massive before we end up getting into any type of crazy cryptocurrency bull run situation. If we can get to a 50 to 70 something cent XRP and Bitcoin's price begins skyrocketing, the rest of the market follows, we will probably see a $3 to $5 XRP. I know people don't care for price predictions. It's just a logical number that I'm throwing out there simply because of the numbers that we had in 2017. I don't get why people don't think XRP. Oh yeah, I remember, and I don't have them in this video. The amount of articles I saw at the beginning of the year that said that XRP would never pass by 20 cents or 25 cents again, were just all over the place. And I saw a lot of articles that said that XRP would never, and that is N-E-V-E-R, never ever pass by $1 US again. I don't know what they were ingesting that day, but it must have been something very strong. Yeah, the market's all in green, except for some of the stable coins, and I mean VeChain, Thor, but you're going to have some anomalies along the way. Dogecoin is up by 15%. Ampleforth is up, and many of the, many of the DeFi coins are also up, I assume, on the news that they're going to be added to Coinbase. But we've seen before what happens when coins do get added to Coinbase, or when that hype kind of fizzles, they move back down. But the market looks pretty good. I assume everyone is making the monies right now, maybe a little bit of monies, but still monies nonetheless. I do hope that you all enjoyed. I hope you're all having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it's absolutely fantastic. We are witnessing currently the beginning of what could be the end of the US dollar. Isn't that insane? That's one of the craziest things I think I've ever said on this channel. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.